Hi, my name is Dr. Uri Burstyn. I'm a veterinarian in Vancouver, BC, and I'd like to welcome you to my series of practical skills for pet owners. I'm here with Lancelot to show you how to administer eye medications to a cat. Now, before we get going, please remember to hit like and subscribe below, and don't forget to squish that bell notification icon so that you get updates on all my future videos and live streams. So giving medications to a cat is it's always a little bit intimidating to owners. And look at those squints. I think Lancelot approves of being here. And giving eye meds can be a little bit scary, mostly because we're all a bit kind of touchy about the eyes. You know, they're such a fragile organ. But really giving eye meds is not that hard. I would say it's probably easier than giving oral medications to felines. And like with anything else, like any other skill around pet handling or medicating, it's just a question of practice. The first couple times you do it are difficult, and then it gets to be easy. Now, before we get going, let me talk to you a little bit about the kind of indications where you might use eye medications. Typically in cats, we use them for infections. Cats can also get allergies that are expressed in the eyes. Occasionally, if your cat gets an eye ulcer, they can use medications to treat those. That's probably the most common indications. And of course, they're also used for the treatment of glaucoma. Now, if you have a dog, the technique is exactly the same as it is in the cats. I think you will find watching this video to be quite useful because you can certainly do the exact same thing. And one more thing I'd like to say before we get going here is, and this is a bit of a plug for animal welfare, most eye problems need to be treated as emergencies. But there's one particular thing that if you see that you really should go see a vet about right away. And what that is one eye squinting. If one eye is squinted shut, and I'm not just talking about a slow blink that cats will sometimes do when they're falling asleep and they kind of blink with one eye really slowly, that's just a cat being really relaxed around you and affectionate. But if an animal is looking at you with one eye squeezed shut, or just one eye kind of obviously squinting relative to the other, that is typically interpreted as a sign of pain and should be seen by a veterinarian immediately. It is also a presenting sign of glaucoma, which is a very painful eye condition. And so if you see one squinting eye in your pet, you really should get to a vet, treat it as an emergency, because these are particularly glaucomas, are very time sensitive. You really just have it's really just a question of hours for you to intervene to save vision in that eye and potentially save the eye itself. Lancelot is getting a little too relaxed here. Don't worry, mate. We'll get to you in a second. So please watch out for those squinting eyes. You know, otherwise people usually come with eye problems with animals who have discharge from the eye or kind of crustiness or redness, and that's all well and good. But it's the one squinting eye that you really want to watch out for, right? All right, so to demonstrate, here I have some just eye lube. This is going to be our proxy eye medication. Now, you can get eye meds either as drops or as gels. Gels typically work better because they stay in the eye longer and more reliably. Drops are typically easier to administer in a really contrary patient. So I always try to use gel medications. And there's very few cases where the owners can give them, and I use eye drops. I know a lot of vets will prescribe eye drops, but from my training, the ophthalmologist I trained under always preferred eye lube, and he made a really rational case for it. So I think it's a really good idea to use gels for eye treatments if you can. And if not, then drops will probably do, but there you have it. So we're going to use this eye lubricating gel as a proxy for a medicated ointment to put into the eye. I guess when I say gel, I mean ointments or gels or anything that's kind of gummy and just stays in the eye for a while. And we're going to position ourselves for success by having Lancelot in our cat administration position, or cat medication administration position. That's a very awkward mouthful, but essentially facing away from you, maybe like I'm right-handed, so he's tucked a little bit into my left arm. I can squish him if need be. And I'm just going to gently position my hand under his chin. I'm going to give him a little chin tickle. He thinks this is just me being really affectionate. And we're going to guide him to look up. Now, you have to be a little bit careful doing this. In older cats, cats with neck pain or osteoarthritis of the neck, you really don't want to crank their head up like this. You got to be really careful. In those cats, you just have to kind of reach reach forward and kind of strain a little bit to get the medications in the eye. But in any cat with a comfortable neck, you just tilt the head up like that, with one finger under the chin, just a little gentle tickle. Really kind of taking it easy, but be gentle but firm. Good idea to have the cap off your meds first. Hey, Mr. Lancelot. And then we're just going to squeeze this directly into the eye. Now, a lot of people like to put medication on their finger and then squeeze into the eye. I used to do that when I was just starting out as a student. Honestly, putting meds directly into the eye is actually much, much faster. And honestly, I think safer and more effective, because if you just put it on your finger, you're not really going to touch the finger to the eyeball. You end up smearing it around your eyelids most of the time. So just tilt the chin up for the medication and just squeeze it right into the eye. And you can expect that kind of reaction. And if it goes over the place, you can give it a little bit of smear around. And then into the other eye. Boop. Just like that. That was an ideal administration. Notice, it feels a little funny. It's a little cold in the eyeballs. But that's basically how you do it. You notice how the second eye, I just got it right on the eye there. Good little dollop of medication. You know, the label will often say 1/4 inch or give you some specification. But really, you just want to squeeze some gel or some ointment onto the eyeball, and your job is done. It'll go all over the place and get to everywhere it needs to be. Hey, Lance, I'm so sorry. So yeah, so you can see if you get a close-up on his eyes that the ointment's just kind of melted on the eye and it's kind of all over the place. His whole eye is lubricated. Probably feels really nice right now, even though obviously there was a little bit of a startle there. But that's how you do it. And I recommend doing this right before you put down a cat's food. If you're going to do this for several weeks, twice a day, just do it right before you give them a little kibble or whatever their favorite food is. That way they start associating the medication with the food. It'll make your life a little bit easier going forward. But, you know, I think just making, you know, sometimes with eye medications, you're giving them 4 or 5 times a day, and that's not possible. But if you can associate it with a positive thing like getting food or giving your cat a tiny little treat, that'll always make things a little bit better for you and the cat. But I think just positioning yourself for success is so important in these cases. Just getting that posture where you're really comfortable and then getting the cat position, and you can just get the medication right into those little cat eyes.
Well, I hope you found that to be educational and helpful. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I would really appreciate your support, which you can express by joining me on Patreon, where I have a wonderful community of patrons already, or by getting some Squish That Cat merchandise, like this t-shirt. I also have mugs and a bunch of other stuff, so please support me. I look forward to making more videos like this, and until next time, have fun with your pets, and I'll see you again.